Decision 2024. Right now, a new poll shows former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris neck and neck, razor thin in battleground states across the nation. A CBS YouGov poll taken among likely voters, it puts the vice president just 1 point ahead of the former president in national polling. Now, that same poll showed a 4-point increase in the amount of Democrats who say that they will definitely vote compared to mid-July. That is actually the highest it's been this year. NBC 10 political commentator Sue O'Connell joining us right now. Sue, this week, possibly tomorrow, we're expecting to hear who Kamala Harris has picked, possibly tonight, as a running mate on this ticket.
Yep.
You have said on the flip side that Trump's VP pick, J.D. Vance, had a rocky rollout. What does Team Harris need to do to avoid some similar mistakes here?
Well, they can and probably will avoid almost all of the challenges that J.D. Vance has presented because it looks like they are actually properly vetting the candidates for the VP slot. And the Harris campaign may also be looking at some polling data and favorability ratings. You know, CNN just did an analysis that indicated that Vance is the least liked non-incumbent vice presidential nominee since 1980. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because Vance didn't do as well as he should have, considering he had Trump's endorsement during his Senate race. Now, the Harris campaign, they may be in the clear no matter who they pick from that kind of vantage point, but it's unlikely that we'll see a VP pick doing as poorly as Vance, at least for another generation. So the odds are in the Harris campaign's favor.
All right. Well, let's talk about Harris herself, right? Because there's a lot of pundits out there, a lot of experts who have made the same observation about her, that she's a lot better on the trail now than when she ran 4 years ago. She didn't have the best approval ratings as VP, but it seems like that's all in the past. People are fickle, obviously.
Yep.
What do you credit for how strong she's been out of the gate here?
Well, Colton, I'm one of those pundits who has pointed to Harris's poor performance on the 2020 campaign trail. But look, just because a candidate loses in one race doesn't mean they're a bad candidate. And being a vice president is, frankly, a terrible job, and it's really hard to get traction no matter who you are. So what's working for Harris right now? Well, she's simply the answer to the prayers many Democrats made for a candidate other than Joe Biden. So Harris is getting a huge bump from that. And she is best when she's a prosecutor, and that aspect of her personality is really shining through because she's running against a convicted felon.
Well, and there's a chance that we could see that happen when she debates him in a few weeks as well. Let's talk about Mr. Trump, because over the weekend, the former president hosted a rally in Georgia, and he used a moment to attack Republican Governor Brian Kemp down there. Why does Trump dislike Kemp so much? And why do so many conservatives want them to patch things up and make amends?
Well, Kemp, you'll remember, and State Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, they were the ones who refused to overturn Trump's 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. And Trump is still very angry at both of them for what he perceives as his loss. It is a loss, but why he thinks he lost. So why do Republicans care if Trump keeps attacking Kemp? Well, because Kemp is an extremely popular Republican governor. He has a 63% approval rating in Georgia. And guess what? Georgia is a must-win swing state for Trump. So obviously Republicans who might want to win the White House back in November think it might be helpful for everyone to get along, or at least for Trump to stop attacking Kemp.
All right. Well, you got a busy few hours and I should say a few months ahead of you, Sue O'Connell.
Years, I think.
Yeah.